Believe it is Oscillator can pull off as we load into the match. First up on the Wretched Shop, we will be seeing a bottom side spawn for us. Note, especially on this map, especially on a Dark Lord set, spawning bottom, I'd say, is always better than spawning on top, because top is just dead. 12 is just dead. There's just never anything to be working with, at least when I spawn in. But, I mean, actually, that's a lie. I had a dumpster filler, and then, you know, the dog, as you see here, just being so short and you cannot see them over tall loops, just tends to get the first hit very well. And, as we do take the first chase onto Sumpeng, who is vaulting this pallet that has been dropped all the way over at this corner 2 side, we are going to be doing some nice dodging work to try and evade the dog. Actually, it's not 2, it's more towards the 3, I do believe. And we are going to be taking this first hook, this pain res, if you do so nicely, which is going to slow down the game just a little bit. I mean, we do have 2 generators off in the distance being worked, 1 apiece. One's going to be getting hit via the pain res. Not too sure which one that was, but we do have some pressure over that 10 side of the map. Dev After Rain just kind of stealthing, and I do believe he was on 7 once upon a time, or he's about to be on 7 if not. But we do see Duck Dewey, is that how you say that name? Duck Dewey going for the pull up pretty early, I'd say. Maybe we'll just let Sumpeng cook a little bit more, because Oscillator hasn't really left that hook, and I'm getting a little bit antsy and worried here. But you know what? Maybe we're just preemptively stealthing for it, Chief. No,
We are indeed. We were preemptively stealthing for it, and there comes the unhook. I do want to point out, Duck Dewey, for our avid viewers, is Mr. Thai characters who we were not able to figure out the identity of for the longest time. We finally know. So welcome to OSL Duck Dewey, and that's just a down into Sumpeng. Oh, this is very, very problematic. I don't think anyone's here for the save. You don't have enough gen pressure to be playing so altruistically at this stage of the game, and they were not. That is our second hook onto Sumpeng. Our tunnel out is going to come out so quickly if we see another unhook and chase like that Hunter. But the gens are still worrying. We do have 3 gens. There's a fair bit of progress. We did just get eruption on that gen over on 11, but we're opting to not get back on it immediately. Our dog here of Oscillator is still patrolling about, and if he does find Kryzen, oh my word, we've not even been able to get SB off. We do just take the tag walking right into him, and now with that tag, we know we have all the position we needed. That gen can't be worked safely. We go back to the unhook. We do catch them out. This is after an unhook, and Sumpeng here taking a free tag as well. My word, this has looked really, really sloppy from Reactor serves in the early game. We could be seeing a very early death onto Sumpeng. A generator still has not procced. This would be problematic if Sumpeng is to die on this filler, and with dog in hand, this rock being so tall, I would be concerned. And guess what? The Dead Heart comes down. Never mind. Sumpeng is able to make it back to that pallet, but he will be zone braked over towards 2. And with not a lot to work with here, I will be guessing the down should be coming in quite shortly. But consolidation, 2 gens are going to pop for this chase hunter.
This is very, very similar to when we had versed Oscillator last week on the start of Cat Jam, although granted, I do have to give credit where credit is due. Sumpeng is lasting a lot longer than I did after my Dead Hard, but we are going to be looping around 12, and Caster's Curse will be going down after 2 generators pop, so we are looking towards that 4K1 territory at the moment. Unless by miracle our survivors in the background tend to go on miracle chases, and as we do get a 99 reset onto the boys over Stealth 10, we do see Duck Dewey just sitting over at this bus here at corner 4, as we do see the dog in the background being transformed over at the bottom side of the map. Going to be taking this kick onto this generator over at this mid-7 tile here. As we do enter the bat form, we are going to be trying to find Duck Dewey just kind of out around this area, and we know where he is. We can sniff him out. We know someone has to be in this area, but Oscillator doesn't want to look too long in that direction. He knows he doesn't really have to. He knows he can like stand on ground and try to find something a little bit more in his favor, as to opposed to just sitting there mindlessly looking for someone that you realistically don't know where they'd be stealthing. We do see some, well, this time Kryzen's able to get the sprint burst away, which is mighty fortunate stuff. But we'll be making this dumpster filler here over at 7, and you know, this filler isn't as safe as you think. Now, usually amongst normal M1 killers, and especially, you know, you're laughing if you get this pallet on the Doctor set, but yeah, the Dark Lord tends to play around this tile very well. There's a little bit of nooks and crannies that you can hit through, and then you can always just transform into the dog and just hide behind the dumpster, you know. But again, as I say that, Kryzen playing absolutely incredible, was able to dodge the Hellfire there, or just run past it rather, and now is going to make another loop around this dumpster filler here. I think we just should stop egoing this pallet and probably break it, in all honesty. Try and zone him edge map of some sort. But again, winning every single 50. This is actually quite impressive for everything considered. And we were almost going to be dodging the Hellfire too. I got to give a round of applause for that chase. That's kind of turned the game up on its head.
It definitely has Hunter, but I will point out, because of how quickly the tunnel out did come in and the fact that all of their pressure was popped for that tunnel out, it didn't really buy them as much as you would have liked. That chase was beautiful, and it was all done very far away from these gens, but I want to point out, with Wretched Fate being cleansed in the meantime, that took a little bit of time away from these generators, and on top of that, no generator popping because they were split. And now, as well, a quick chase coming in onto Afterrain. If this is to continue, we would need to be unhooking Kryzen quite quickly. The position, although definitely a lot better than what we were in, we do get smashed it off because of that bite through the pallet, but it won't give us as much distance having taken the tag. We do see Kryzen getting unhooked in the background as well, and Afterrain needs to last, but to no avail. We'll be going down on this main pallet, and we're opting to slug, trying to cut off the reset. We managed to do that entirely. Kryzen is still injured, having a few seconds of BT left. We will play for the down on him with Afterrain on the ground. We could be securing the 4K3 here if we do cut Duck off and getting that pick, which with the we aren't able to do because he does it will make it. I believe he's able to get that pick onto Afterrain very, very quickly, and that will just be the reset in hand as well. But Kryzen rather, will be back on the hook. We gained little to nothing for that unhook Hunter. This is where games start to look really dicey in the 3v1, where you get an unhook and nothing comes of it because another survivor is down on the ground whilst that's happening. So all that gen progress that we did get for that beautiful Kryzen chase, and that tag being a little generous on the side of Oscillator, means we really don't have all that much for the position we're in now.
Problems, and with that, that being said, we do see Afterrain going for the pull as soon as he could, but getting caught out. Now he's going to have to use this window here, dodging the dog very nicely to avoid the tag. But we are going to be taking this kick on the main generator on the side of Oscillator. Now, I don't think anybody would be going for this pull. Maybe Duckdoy just kind of sit in the generator in the distance, and yeah, you'd have to because you're injured. You can't really do too much, but Afterrain's still got his full health state here. We're going to be able to get this pull for free, and at the result of no tag, which is always a plus and a tick from my box, but we are running into this no, it's okay, so it's all the way over at 4. My god, okay. Oh, well, that's a plus side. Definitely the correct generator to be working as looking at the map as a whole.
Oh no, we've stuck the gen and it didn't pop and now it's been erupted, and we're gonna get a pain res on top of it.
I was stumbling to find words because I thought that gen was going to pop in our face. I couldn't tell, just, you know, in my head. We do get the pain res onto it as well, which is unfortunate. And we are going to be continuing chase back onto Kryzen here. Now, can he pull something monumental like he was doing over at 7? Who knows? But he's going to be taking the blind onto Oscillator, who's going to be running now all the way back down to 7. Doesn't have anything to be working with after we drop this filler pallet. And we don't have enough distance, unfortunately. We're going to be going down at the other side. Now picking up. This is going to potentially even solidify a 4K3, which was, you know, the result that my team got last week. I'm sorry I keep bringing that up, but I just can't help but compare the two games to being so similar in some instances. And I want to see we're really struggling. It seems to be 4K3, 4K2 is somewhat the average we're starting to get on these Dark Lord sets here, Chief. I mean, if you decipher it, what do you think is the problem? Is it really just like I don't know, the killer's too good or the survivor's just not well versed in the Dark Lord? Is it the balancing? Like,
Hunter,
talk to me.
Every week I've said this set should be out, and we have not seen it once. Actually, scratch that. We saw it once. It was Kratos against Catjam. That was the only time we saw out against Dracula the entire season so far. Every game besides that has been a 4K. We've seen it average out to about a 4K2 at this point. Actually, sorry, a 4K1 average at this point, with a lot of 4K2s, but some 4K0s bringing it down to that 4K1 average. And I mean, look, we are going to be seeing a 4K3. We didn't see Afterrain and Duckdewey decide to double the gen out for Kryzen's chase. The eruption delayed that gen even further and it wasn't able to pop. And now we have the fog returning. Oscillator entered the void, so we won't be able to see what he's seeing in Duckdewey. We'll just have to avoid being found for as long as possible. Gonna get back on this gen at 4, but if Oscillator is going to make a heads up play, I mean, it doesn't even matter. Look at that progress, Hunter. It is gone. We can just hook this survivor, take the pain res, and go back to the gen. It doesn't really matter what we do as long as we don't forget to play the game for the next minute and a bit. And it's gonna be a 4K3.
Maybe a 4K? No, definitely a 4K3. No, you're right. Okay, I should have shut up. But, yeah, like, wow. I mean, maybe we just chalk it up to the fact that also Oscillator is just a demon at this killer.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
Definitely is.
regardless of any other factors that may tie into the fact that we're 4K3ing, 4K2ing every single Dark Lord set, we're really gonna have to hand it off to this guy for just being an absolute demon on this killer. He knows the dog form, he knows the bat form, he knows the Hellfire form, he knows what form to be in. He mechanically is good in all three of those forms. Usually what I tend to see sometimes is amongst the people who don't particularly play Dark Lord sets, it's not their Dark Lord's not their main killer. They tend to struggle in one area more than the other. This guy doesn't have a fault. I barely see him screw up on the mechanics side at all. Like, he is just mastered this this character to a T.
Just cooked.
No, I think unironically I am. I mean, I feel like my brain is just absolutely fried, and I keep on saying that, but it's technically, it is. I'm just like so convoluted at the moment inside my own head. But let's go back into more recent events, as I was saying before. 4K4, very tall order. I mean, yeah, playing aggressive. You don't really have access to change your build, unfortunately. As you do have to send it in before your entire series starts. You have to send in your set 1, set 2 tiebreaker for the best of 3s. So, it just really depends what he's brought into this trial. And now, as we see our survivors spawn at the bottom side of the map, which was very similar to last game. Actually, exactly the same. We are going to see our killer spawn all the way topside. We do have that 3-gen on top side as well, so the chasers are probably going to be going bottom. We do see Prada in the dog form here, looking around, sniffing around this 4 tile here. We don't see anybody edge map, but we know they're here. We definitely know they're here. And we are going to take this first chase very nicely onto this 4 tile, but unfortunately eating the pallet there a little bit. Oh my god, we've seen the head-on and the firecracker very, very early, and that's going to enable us to make a little bit more distance on the side of our Adam. He's going to have to play this bus. He's going to be playing the check spots very nicely, pre-dropping the pallet, but still getting hit through the Hellfire. Mighty unfortunate stuff as we did. That was the last notch of Hellfire, just clipping us at our backside, but we are going to be pre-dropping this Shack pallet here. Not even too sure if we really needed to do that, but we did it just for good measures. Unfortunately, that is the resource gone, though. We are going to be back vaulting into our killer and winning that 50 mind game. We are going to be pulling up Hellfire a little bit preemptively on the side of Prada, getting a little bit antsy here, but we're going to be vaulting straight back into the killer on the side of Flavor U, and that is a very, very quick down. I mean, again, a pretty similar start to what we were seeing last match, Chief.
Yeah, definitely not too out of the picture. That head-on definitely surprised me. I can't believe we brought head-on to a tier 2 killer. Like, we all have exhaustion. We can all be running something to keep us alive and chase, but no, we do have a head-on Darkstar. That is very interesting to see, but a little problematic here. Obviously, that chase did go down on a jungle gym. We vaulted into the loving embrace of Prada. So, definitely not ending the way we wanted it to, and because of that, we did see the pain res come in. We were hooked on top of our most active gen all the way at 7, which, once again, is definitely not what you want to see for the survivors. It's not the start they were looking for, considering the killer performance. You know, they don't have that hard of a task to meet, but they've Prada's definitely bought himself some time to be able to meet the win condition. And forcing this trade out early here, if he does, actually he's not even going to. Diehouse is going to take the tag as much distance as possible, but problematic here, the distance isn't all that much when you are chasing against a Dark Lord, and we just see a down come in once again. Will we go back for the unhook? We will have to. I think we do indeed. We get the unhook in the background. I believe that will be one of it's the calls here, getting the unhook. And we've just opted to chase him instead. Fluorite has had to go 6 to prevent being tunneled out too quick, which just means we can take a chase, another chase into the mid-map, Hunter. Not too sure how I feel about this play. You know, if we can get this down quickly, it will be worth it. Fluorite will be stuck bottom, but if this goes to... Yeah, this is the problem now, Hunter. We see the pit come in the background. We're chasing a healthy survivor. We're going to be able to get resets on all of our serves as well. So the positioning feels a little off now. We've kind of given them the footing into the game that they didn't once have. So I don't know. I think this is a bit of a misplay from Prada.
Yeah, he's overcommitting hooks that he doesn't need to be committing. We need to be going back for that tunnel out onto Florit. How did you say that name again? Sorry, it was Florit?
I read it as Fluorite. Like
Fluorite? Fluorite,
like,
yeah.
Fluorite? Yeah, I don't know.
Fluorite,
I hope I'm saying it right.
Fluorite. Yeah, we'll call him Fluorite. No, that looks
Fluorite.
about right, in all honesty. I mean, yeah, we just needed to be going back on that tunnel out, and we've played for our fresh hooks, playing a little bit of wholesome Chungus Killer, and all of a sudden, we're at the tie condition. You know, you definitely needed a tunnel out at this Oh wait, oh the minus
Penalty.
penalty. No, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Hands up.
okay. So they will be taking away the set, and it is their pick, so you anticipate them to win this reactor. Gonna have to really show up in the blight set now, but that doesn't mean that the game is over for Prada, even though we've made a little bit of a macro mistake in terms of how we are going to be playing for our win condition. We are still having a fairly good game, in all honesty. We're setting ourselves up for the 4K1, 4K2. 4K2 if we can hold on to it, 4K1 at least, I would say. I mean, I'd be very surprised if survivors get outs from this as the way the game is going, but we are going to be taking chase back onto this injured survivor over at the 5 side of the map, and we're getting a little bit lost in the scratch marks here. In and out tech here going on with our survivors. It's very nice to see on the chase mechanics, but we are going to be taking chase back onto Cold here, who was our injured survivor that we had heard, who was pulled earlier and now is going to be going down and picked up as a result. We are going to be getting another pain res too, so that's going to slow the game down just a little bit. Fluorite probably has to get off that generator in just about now, otherwise, bam, there we go. The communications were not there. Unless the spectator's bugging in, I just didn't hear. I didn't hear the scream. Maybe the scream did happen, but needless to say, we will be following up that generator onto Fluorite. It's Chase as well over it too. He's going to be getting hit through that pallet. Now running all the way down top side, trying to make his death location as quickly as possible. Prada just taking ground once more. Is going to probably hold the midsection of the map and try to intercept the pool as we do take the transportation all the way down to the window, facing the edge map from the crane. Now we're going to be continuing on our tunnel out onto Cold, and this is what probably should have happened a little bit earlier. Onto Fluorite, the head on as well. That's the second one this trial, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't believe it. I just want to very quickly take a time to point out that build. It's dead hard head on. That's the most peculiar build I've seen on Dark Lord, I think, ever. But you are right, we will be using that to just extend Cold's final chase of the game. I think he's run all the way edge map to avoid this dog, but Prada's given him back to the tile, so his chase will last that little bit extra. Losing that 50 though, and that will be Cold out of the trial. But Hunter in the background, look at that gen progress. Fluorite's gen is pretty high, you know, and we know that him and Daihao are split, so that will be 2 gens exiting the trial alongside Cold very quickly. We will be hopefully getting those gens pop before we go back to those gens. I'm assuming, oh, we're not going to be able to unless this is Fluorite's gen. I think Cold, no, this isn't even, this is Daihao's gen that he's had to leave early, so I mean, perfect position, right? We're not even going to take the down for the gen. It's exactly what you need, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Look at this stealth, you know, the 3v1 has started. We're not giving away anything for free. For free, Fluorite is probably going to go get reset as this happens, and we can't leave this gen, because if we do it, we'll pop. So we're buying some time for this reset to come through. Now, I do want to point out the gens in general are pretty well split for our survivors. We have 5, we have 6, we have main, and we have 12. This is pretty easy to split and get out of the way, no matter how you put it. So, Prada will have to spend a lot of time at this top gen, but it does give our survivors bottom time to meet up and reset and then get on those gens and get some progress pumping. But seeing that the gen has regressed and nobody's gotten back on it, Prada has opted to check these bottom gens just in case they were sitting it the whole time, which we as spectators do know that they haven't just yet. Oh, actually they have, I think. Darkstar was probably here before he was meeting up for that reset. I would love to know if that reset is about to come in. If we could just get a quick look at that, we are indeed getting that reset all the way edge 4, lovely stuff. And yeah, once again, I think Hunter, the survivors are playing this 3v1 exactly how they need to.
Yep, all healthy, all stealth, all in safe positions. I mean, they're setting themselves up for outs at the moment. I did say 4K1 at the very least earlier, but I don't know anymore in all honesty. I mean, Prada just kind of on the back foot at the moment, on the defense, if you will, and now just really trying to find somebody to take chase, and he's just kind of jumping to gen, and we do see someone hop in the locker there. He has caught glimpse of that, and he is going to be anticipating the head-on, and we baited it out. But, oh my god, that is daylight robbery. That is 60 ping, 70 ping at its finest, unfortunately. We have been just dedicated there, but Prada going to be taking chase back onto these scratch marks that are leading all the way on the other side of 5, and now Sabrina has made all kinds of distance, slapping that pallet into his face as well. Prada is going to be eating getting the wood there. Just going to be taking that Hellfire tag as well on the side of Darkstar, so it's not all done and dusted. As we do zone break back into 5, do we have anything else to work with after we vault this pallet here, or we just kind of zoned edge? And I think we're just kind of zoned edge as we do pop another generator in the background. That will be Daho's generator done. As we do, oh, that is amazing fake on the side of Darkstar, and we are able to make that as well. I don't even think that was resilient, so you'd think that he would have it, but he doesn't. And wow, we are just playing around absolutely bugger all so well. Wins 150. Does he win the other? No, he's just going to go down imminently here, unfortunately, as we did try to fake the vault once more, but we did not fall for it on the side of Prado, playing very safe, not going for any sort of dashes, just going for the straight M1 as we do slap Darkstar onto a Pain Resonance hook at corner 5. We are going to be going back to our generators over at top side, and if I do remember our spread correctly, it is a fairly okay gen scenario that we got going on. As we do vault back into the main, oh no, those are ugly. We got main 7, and that seems to be like 6, so that is a very, loose 3 gen. If we just ping pong, honestly, main and 6, we could potentially just see outs all around. As we do say that, Prada going to be back into the bat form, is going to take Lapis Lazuli into effect over at the crane once more, but not catching anybody off guard. Do we get the reset off in time on the side of Fluorite and Darkstar? Not too sure. We are sniffing it out on the side of Prada. He knows it's happening. He knows he needs to find it. Unfortunately, we've just let it happen, and that's just mighty. Actually, we caught a glimpse of somebody's backside behind this rock, and it does seem to be 2 survivors. It is Fluorite and Darkstar. That reset that we were looking for just moments ago, and all of a sudden, everything's just turned on its head, and now it just doesn't really mean anything to reset, as we do have 2 tags, and as 3, 2, 1 does happen, and we're going to be following up with the chase onto Darkstar all the way down to the bottom side of the map. Going to be greeting that, no, the pallet's gone at crane, ignore me, I'm stupid, but we are going to be running the backside, making enough distance all the way down to 6 as we're going to be pre-dropping this pallet. And where do we opt to die here? Because I'm not too sure. No, we're working that main generator. Yes, okay. Daho knows it, has to leave, has to rotate all the way down to a more favorable position here. Survivors need to stealth and get another reset going. Otherwise, you know, they're just chop chicken cheese sitting there with their thumbs in their butt because they're injured. They can't really do much. You know, if you sit a generator while you're injured and you just use Lapis Lazuli to get straight over to you, you're just 2-tap Timmy, or 1-tap Timmy, actually, unfortunately. But it really just begs the question, what's the game plan from the Survivors as it currently stands? Well, if we can get a quick flick around to maybe what Fluorite and Darkstar are doing, as we do look for the corner edge map here, they really tell the narrative, and we do see them resetting all the way over it. Is this mid? Hang on a second. Oh, wait, we've just...
Edge 2.
Is edge 2? Okay, it is edge 2. I saw the bus and I thought that was 7 for some reason, but yeah, you are right, it is edge 2, and we've gotten all the way down to main once more on the side of Prada, again, struggling to find that reset. We do see Fluorite. Is that clean break?
It is indeed a clean break. So we have clean break up on Fluorite, which means they're going to be using that time that they're saving by not resetting to probably double out one of these bottom gens, because Daihao was found on the top side. He has to last on this part. My word, the ping. That is what we were talking about earlier, NEA to SEA. Unable to get that pallet stun in time, going down through the pallet. And now the situation does look a little problematic. This, I believe, is a pain res. It is indeed. This is our final pain res of the trial. This will be hitting main. I'm not too sure if anything on the bottom side has any progress at all. Fluoride injured, obviously not for too much longer, with clean break proccing in probably the next 10-ish seconds. Darkstar will have to play for this pull. I'm guessing he's already pre-rotated for it. Fluoride cannot be found in this time, because if he is... Oh, actually, never mind. Fluoride is the person positioning for the stealth. We see Darkstar all the way bottom, and I do think this is probably the better position all in all. Fluoride is that SB survivor. He's able to get that unhook last second, try to snipe it with his exhaustion, and if Darkstar is chased, he does have the dead hard to be able to last. But as we do see, Prada is not going to give this up for free. He has this hill. He can sit on the most progress gen and the snipe and the unhook, so it cannot be sniped. But we do see him leave for these bottom gens, getting a bit antsy and worried. We do see also the scratch marks leading to Jack Darkstar taking as much distance as possible, but because of that kick, we do see Daihao unhooked in the background. Will we reset? Will we double the gen? It's all to be asked. I'm not sure why we're checking this locker. We saw the scratch marks into Shaq Prada. Surely you know where he went. I don't know why we're checking towards 6, but because we can't find him, we're having to go back to top just in case they are doubling Hunter. I'm about to sneeze. Please continue with my train of thought.
I'll take it. Okay, we are going to be continuing on here. What is the next plan of action, as we have lost sight of Daho, who's just kind of Yeah, healing up over at edge map there. Now we are really trying to sniff out some sort of a reset, but we are got some sort of a 3-split going at the moment. And Prada going to be checking his edge map 1 here. Not finding on anybody, unfortunately. Is going to go all the way back down to 5, as we had seen some sort of a notification, that noise notification there. Darkstar preemptively leaving that is going to go all the way back down to 5. This is making for a very long match at the moment as far as Dark Lord sets go, which is it's exactly how you have to play it. At the moment, it is closing in on 13, 14 minutes, and I think we're in it for the long run here, Chief. This could be potentially even 4 and 5 extra minutes on the side of our survivors. Darkstar getting caught out, though, is going to be eating a tag here. Now we're going to follow it up on the side of our killer, Prada. He's going to be entering the bat form here, but the question is, does he leave or does he commit? And he is committing, okay, so he has to get this down pretty quickly, fairly quickly. He's going to be using that Hellfire. Does he get it in time? Yes, he does! Amazing stuff, and now we're going to be taking another hook onto Darkstar, and we're in control of the match once more on the side of Prada. He's definitely still in a position to 4K1 this. Daho, though, in such a monumental position to be able to take the game back into his hand here. He is just kind of stealth in this rock, ready for the pull. We are going to be going to Fluorite momentarily on the side of Prada, but Daho just going to be getting that unhook instantaneously, and just going to be resetting as soon as they can, maybe. Well, I would anticipate so, as we do see Fluorite just kind of stealthing over at 12, playing for the long game here.
Yeah, I think they've actually opted to not reset. They know that Prada has to spend a little bit of time looking for the person stealthing for this gen, because it does have a fair bit of progress, but it does mean on the bottom side you see Daiha on that gen. I wouldn't be too surprised if Darkstar is doubling. The HUD is deceiving me right now. I'm unable to tell you that information, but we will find out very, very shortly. As they do have to leave this gen, we do hear the bats once again, meaning, oh no, Darkstar's just stealth all the way 9 edge, playing very, very slow, probably for a reset inevitably, but I'm not too sure how I feel about this. At this point, the gen progress is a little lackluster, as our survivors are definitely playing to run out of kicks on these gens, because at this point, there's not a lot you can do. You have to sit one of these gens for an entire chase, and until you just run out of kicks, you can't really do that. The killer will always go back to the gens to protect them. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario right now. We can't get found in any position. Darkstar will get reset in the background by Fluorite, meaning he has left this top gen. Daihao is back on that gen at 6. As we can see, it's only about 25%. But once again, the more time we spend looking, the more time that gen is going to be progressed. And that will slowly but surely mean the survivors will take the game. But like you said earlier, Hunter, it just depends how much more time we want to spend here. Unfortunately for our survivors, Daiha has been found out in his rotation, unable to stealth Prada out, but he will be able to make a lovely little read on the movement of Prada, just faking the window vault and taking his distance all the way to the other side of the jungle gym without the pallet, but now sending his distance all the way back to 5. We know he has this pallet all the way over at 4, and he has the pallet in the gym. He fakes the jiggy and is able to just make it to the pallet scot-free, having this pallet to work with now, life in hand as well, opting to not take the vault, so not using his exhaustion just yet, but he'll use it on this window at check to buy as much distance as possible after that tag. We do know that Prada is going to have to commit this. Daihao doesn't have a lot to work with other than this window, so this will just be a quick down onto him. The 2v1 not coming in just yet because Daihao is not going to die on hook, but the slug most definitely will be the play, as we see Fluorite having to take distance from this gen. We're not too sure where Darkstar is at this moment. I would assume already ramping for this pickup, but if we do find Fluorite in this position and get an early 2-tap onto him, hey, why are we checking? Prada, stop checking the lockers, man. You see the scratch marks. I don't know what's going on with Prada, but he needs to find this stealth. He cannot let Fluorite stealth him out, because that gen is definitely running out of kicks. I'm not too sure if he... No, he didn't kick it. It was hit by eruption. He couldn't have kicked it, but yeah. I'm getting to a point. Also, yeah, sorry, I just want to point out, we have been notified. He had eruption aura on Fluorite, then he still checked the locker. I think Prada is definitely starting to panic. He really wants this 4K1, right? Even though the set is already gone, he's playing for this result, and he really, really wants it to be a 4K. So, yeah, getting a bit antsy definitely on the side of Prada. So
Jittery even, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
just like he's... Yeah, I know. It's a high-octane game. I mean, you know, he has to be on his feet 24/7. The moment he looks the other way, he already knows somebody's in the background ready to pop those gates open. But in all honesty, he is going to be going all the way back down to 6 and 7 where he can just kind of sit in between these generators, try to look for somebody edge map. There's not going to be anybody there because you do see the crone. It hadn't been disturbed earlier, so I'm not really too sure what the game plan is here. He's not really going to be able to find anybody. You know that they're working 6, and this could be proved to be troublesome. I mean, like, if we go a little too far away from 6 without checking it, you know, it's just going to come back to bite us in the arse. And as we do take into Hellfire form here, we still have not found our chase, and Daho just still kind of injured at the moment, off in the background somewhere. We are in a locker. Oh, we are in a locker. Okay, I'm not too sure who this is. I do believe it is Daho. Just getting that inner strength value. Oh my, no, no way! Oh, he gets it off in time, and he
has paid off.
Oh, and he doesn't get grabbed for anything of the sort. He's just got to opt to die all the way into corner 7 here, maybe 8 if he's careful enough. Isn't able to make it, unfortunately. He's going to be going down, so the inner strength doesn't really matter as much. We do have someone preemptively crouching and ready for that fast pull if we get it. So, I mean, it all really depends. Where does Prada check after he gets this nice mid hook here? Does he check 6 or does he check main? And he has to check main because, you know, main is the generator that's being worked, and he knows that. So, I mean, he had line of sight on 6 anyway, so he knew nobody was over there. But, yeah, rotating over towards this main generator here. Gonna be kicking it. It is fairly progressed at the moment. It is sitting around 75%. There's 4 pistons pumping at the moment. We do see the scratch marks leading all the way into corner 1, where we don't have line of sight of our survivor, unfortunately. Probably just stealth in the tile there as they do. And we do see it is Fleur right here. It is not the survivor that you want. You really want to be getting one of those death hooks down. But we will take any eruption rock of the sort here onto main as quickly as possible. But if we're not careful, it'll just slip through our fingers, unfortunately. As we do take this pre-drop here over into 3, we are going to be looping the fat side of the rock here and not quite getting the tag there. He was trying to get that diagonal hit. He didn't want to take precedent of breaking the pallet, but unfortunately just eating the rock there. It is going to extend the chase a little bit longer, but not long enough, and we do get that eruption proc in the background there. I do believe somebody screamed as well. I don't think they called the down early enough. It is that aura eruption, that aura proc onto, I think that was as arena player, just going all the way down into 10, trying to stealth throughout the trees. We see the scratch mark, we know that they're there. In all honesty, that when the eruption is caught out like that, you just need to make as much distance as possible. There's no point in just trying to stealth around the area. He knows you're there, especially with nothing that you can really hide in. And then now we're just going to be following up the chase onto Darkstar, who's running all the way down into the other generators. And he's one of our death hooks here. So if he dies in the next, I want to say 20 seconds, and as I say that, he dies. It's going to set up Prada for the 4K1. I mean, still has to be careful of that main generator. It does have a lot of progress on it. Don't think he has to really worry about 6 too much anymore, but we are going to be going over there anyway. Yeah, there's no progression on that whatsoever. These bottom gens are just dead. I mean, you got like 1 or 2 pistons pumping here, but huh?
Main's out of regression, and if they're doubling right now, that kick could mean that this gen pops in his face. I'm really... Oh, no, they're stealthing. Okay.
Nah.
I was going to say, I'm really worried. If they just opted to double that with it out of regression, yeah, it's... Oh, actually, look at the progress. It's all gone. Never mind. So, yeah, I mean, that just is basically the 4K1 secured if that gen... Also, I think he still had kicks. No, he did just kick that gen again, so... I'm just eating my words. He had more than enough kicks for that gen main. I thought he was out with that final eruption proc, but nevertheless, it is... Yeah, it's 0%. We have the 2v1. We need to get the reset. We need to split these gens and somehow get one of them to pop for a chase. But in a 2v1, that's mighty, mighty difficult, you know? All you gotta do, I've said this so many times in the last 2 weeks, is have the killer forget that he is playing at Dead by Daylight, forget about his gens and go on a chase for 3 minutes and not worry about anything else, which isn't gonna happen. So I do think the result, a 4K1, is secured. And my word, did Prada fight for it.
Yeah, no, he's had a long fought battle. We are closing in on 22 minutes as it currently stands. My God, what a long match. I said we'll win for the long run, and I hope you believed me because it was true. And we do have 2 survivors still in the trial left. They still are able to get that last generator proc, but as you said, they need to go on a wild goose chase. And, you know, Prada just has to kind of spiral out of control there. He needs to, like, lose about, like, I don't know, 60 egregious 50s that, you know, just really shouldn't be being lost. We are going to be taking back into bat form though, and going all the way down to the bottom side, checking those generators again for the 100th time this set. Sorry. But yes, like we said before, there is no progression on that. We are playing extremely stealthy on the side of Daho and Fluorite. Fluorite opting to leave with Sprint Burst and Fixated in hand. Sprint Burst not quite ready yet, as we had Sprint Burst to this main generator as it so seems. We do take into dog form here, and Prada catching out Fluorite. Fluorite's going to be forced all the way into corner 1 here. We are going to be following up this chase. We have no real reason to leave. By that same token, I hope we do not leave this chase. And as I say that, we are going to be taking the grab onto Fluorite, who's going to be hooked all the way over in this 3 tile. And we're going to go probably check our gens over at the bottom side, as we do see that Daho is working that 6 generator. And we're going to get this game chopped up for you guys so we can move into the Blight set. Now, when you're looking at a set like this, you would think that he's actually fighting for some sort of tie condition, win condition, but he's just fighting for the best possible result. The win condition was met ages ago when the 2 gens popped, but we are going to be taking chase back onto Daho, who's trying to rotate for another pull onto Fluorite, but it's just not going to happen as we call lines up, and they are forced all the way into the middle of the map here, but more towards the shack at the moment. We are going to be taking 1 dash, not 2, but playing it extra safe on the side of Prada, and now following up on the shack side. It's just, when you put it on paper, how long ago did we lose our tunnel out? Like, absolutely crazy that we've gone on for this long.
Yeah, we lost the game about 16 minutes ago.
Like 16 minutes ago. I'm looking at the stream right now, and like, you know, it's like 13 minutes, and just like we already have the survivor dead. So, you know, after the next 10 minutes, it's just been like, yeah, all in all, a 24-minute match. And you know what? As slow and as painful as it would have been for some people, we actually love sets like this. It makes it so fun. You know, if you're in it for the long run, if you really fight for the best possible result, it's a round of applause to you, realistically, because not many people can do this. Not many people can sit here. I know I definitely can't. I know when my win con's been blown out of proportion, I just start again, and you know what? These guys will probably be a lot more well-versed than what I was on the Blight set. I mean, I definitely have learned a lot more this past coming week. I did scrim it a fair bit. I went through a couple of teams and learned a lot about the map and a lot about the killer that I didn't know. I mean, you know, it's quite scary how you can P100 a killer and still know absolutely bugger all about it. So I'm going to be spawning over at the opposite side of the map here on the side of Prada, going all the way down to 11 as he had spawned 5. I do anticipate. Didn't get a quick look on his spawn, but we are going to be taking chase this very short pallet here. Going to be eating a tag on the side of Daho. Going to be vaulting, a very risky vault rather, but it is going to proc life, I do believe, as you know, you wouldn't really vault that window if you didn't have it in hand. And we are going to be following up with these rush attacks here, but fatiguing and going for fatigue zoning here at this little short filler outside of main, but playing it very well on the side of Daho. Is able to see over these coal buckets here, or whatever they're called. Nevertheless, we are going to be greeting the pallet once, throwing it twice though, and now trying to break away back into the inside of main potentially, but we're going to get a little bit flicky here on the side of Prada, but just barely missing Daho, and that's going to extend his chase a little bit more as we do have to wait for our rushes to come back. We are able to make this filler over at corner 10 here, pre-dropping that instantly, playing check spots, winning that 50, but losing the second, and now we've had a reasonably okay chase on the survivor and not the worst chase on the side of the killer. It is pretty even at the moment, and you can anticipate they'll be working those bottom generators here. But let's look at this split over at the top half of the map. We do have main, we do have around 10, and then potentially 1 or 2. So this would be a very tight 3-gen scenario at the top half of the map, and we are trying to really deplete those resources just before to make the end game a little bit harder. And unfortunately, we've ran into a little bit of a spectator bug as we've preemptively swapped to a survivor whilst being hooked. So we have to wait momentarily for the invisible blight to come back, as we do see him reappear all the way behind side main. Is going to be playing the rushes very effectively, getting flying. Oh, you never swing around the corner. You always safety bump. Chicky, chicky, naughty, naughty survivors. But we've got to be taking that break onto that pallet there outside of main here. And yes, Chief, you are still here. I do apologize for just ranting and yapping, you know, for minutes on end. What do you think in this scenario?
Do not worry, Hunter. Everybody knows we are the yapping duo. Both of us do not shut up. But no, you do have a very good point. I think obviously that first chase did quite enough for the survivors. You know, this is a very risky reset, but they do get it off for free. Prada unable to hit around that hook, just unable to connect on his final rush, and that will give Daiha all the distance he needs to main, though he's decided to play the pallet instead of taking the window vault, and because of that he does get the stun. And in the background we do see the first generator of the trail pop. But what I wanted to point out was that first chase allowed the survivors to cross to the bottom side of the map quite efficiently, and also it allowed our survivors to cleanse Ruin, but why is everybody here at main? Hello, Earth to Reactor. It's not Reactor, sorry, this is Kratos. Earth to Kratos, where we have decided to play oh, and that's not that's a very ugly tag to take, losing that 50 there on cold, so he's just gonna have to play around main. Because of that tag, we are going to go to this gen at 3. We knew it was being worked, we have Eruption on it. We don't try to get the down, actually it's not even being worked anymore at all, so we're just gonna lose all of our survivors yet again, but lo and behold, we spotted another 2. I'm not too sure why every survivor is just on the top side of the map right now. We still have 2 gens bottom that we could work. We don't need to all be top side, but we're giving up a lot of that pressure. I would be very curious to see if there is a survivor bottom. I'm not too sure if we actually have seen all 4 or just 3, but I know we've definitely seen 3 separate survivors here. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, that's Adam again. Okay, he just took his hit. That is the overcome coming into play. If someone's still on main, I'm gonna be very confused here. I don't know why. Yeah, they are. What are we doing? Like, can we please stop being here? Like, why is everybody at main? Hunter, I'm concerned that this could get really ugly really quickly, because if we just get some downs in this, like, near these gens, because we do have a nice little 4-gen top that is somewhat holdable early game, but, you know, will become more and more so as we deplete these resources. It could be ugly if we just start going down here quite a fair bit, and we do see that down onto cold as I say that.
We are trying to play and break the 3-gen scenario that we got over at the top side of the map, as we do have also bottom being worked here. 4 and I believe that was like more towards the 6 area. We'll be seeing that pop momentarily. Unfortunately, another spectator bug is going to make it so our blight is invisible at the moment. But yeah, I don't like the amount of resources that are being used at this top half of the map. Unfortunately, there's nothing to be working with for the later game. Yeah, I mean, you do have all of bottom side to be working with, though, so I anticipate they're going to be flipping the map as soon as they get this unhook here. We are going to be barely missing that swing on the side of Prada, unfortunately, but all things considered, Chief, it has kind of flipped, on paper, it's kind of flipped on its head, the game, that is, now it's just, honestly, in the survivor's favor. I mean, you only have 2 stages on the board, and we are trying to get this next down onto Daho, but he's just not falling for any 50s at the moment. He's working through this middle, and middle on the blight, or okay, I like it, I like it. Good clean bumps there, clean bump logic, but as I was saying, you know, it can be proved to be pretty difficult for blight, but Prada just really making me eat my words there with a nice little flick at the window. But you know, that's the kind of hit that either pays off or it doesn't. You know, it's not a very safe hit, it is a very ambitious flick, but I'm glad he was able to convert on that rush, and nevertheless we are going to be taking chase back all over to the top half of main, over at that backside 12. We do have a lot of progression being worked here at the top side of the map, as we do take this eruption and pop goes the weasel proc onto our generator over here. Now, I was always advised not to bring Ruin on this map because it is so easily found and destroyed. We have opted to go for Ruin instead of anything anything else really. I think you can only really run either Iron Grasp or Oppression. Everything else is just kind of useless on this killer as far as OSL balancing goes. You know, it was once upon a time Colorblind, but has been banned on tier 1 sets, and we are going to be taking that tag onto Cold there after just missing that flick there on the side of Prada. Does have Eruption applied to all these generators, but we are going to be going for a reset on the bottom half of the map here. We are going to be trying to find this survivor over at Edge Map 2. He does know somebody's here, but not too sure if they stuck around or just left entirely. We are going to be checking that locker though, and just not finding anybody. Realistically, if he was to find Daho, he'd be in a very good position at this point in time in the game, but oh my god, okay, I thought that was Daho, but it was Darkstar. So not who you want exactly, but still a chase nonetheless. We are going to be getting rid of this resource over at 2, and then we are going to be following up the chase here, bumping into the barrel, but we're going for a little bit of jiggy on the side of Darkstar, but eating that tag and going all the way down to bottom, hauling ass, if you will. I don't think he makes a pallet here. Unfortunately, we get our rushes back just in time. He's going to be going down as far bottom as we can possibly make it. Are going to be going to get another hook over at the bottom side here. And we're going to be rushing all the way back into the top half of the map where you can apply our Pop Goes the Weasel and Eruption once more to one of these generators. Has been highly progressed. We do see Fluorite working that backside main generator as well. We do see Cold stealthing over at that 2 generator there. And our survivors are all set in position and ready to go. Now, the question is, does Prada find one of them? I mean, I don't think he does. He is quite far away from where we know that they're stealthing. And remember, us as the spectators know that where the survivors are. But Prada does not. He does not have info, any info of the sort. That's another good thing about bringing oppression that I'd like to bring forth to everybody as well. If they screw up the skill check, you do get a loud noise notification that will kind of dob in the survivors and what generators they're working. Granted that they do not hit the skill check. I mean, you know, that's kind of the risk that you take bringing in something like oppression, but you know, Ruin still does its bits. Granted that it stays in the trial long enough, but unfortunately on this set wasn't the case, and we do see the scratch marks rotating all the way back down into the bottom half of the map. So long jokes, we are going to go back into the generator here, trying to dodge those rush hits, but we're not going to be following up with anything. We are going to be taking this kick, this eruption proc again onto this top half generator too, and it's only a matter of time before really one of these pops. He needs it down, he needs it quick, and he needs to keep on the pressure up with that pop eruption value. Chief.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to point out, Hunter, I found it very curious. Prada has twice. Oh my god, the dead hard. That is lovely from Cold, and because of that, we do have to leave this chase. But I was going to point out very quickly that Prada's usage of pop, hello, Die How, hello, tunnel out, just found in mid-map, flailing about that will be attacked through that window. But once again, probably not going to be able to chase that. But actually, excuse me, never mind. Prada has just opted to take this chase, try to get this tunnel out as quickly as possible. But this could be problematic. We do know there are 2 gens topside that are very high progress, or at least were, and if 10 has progress that we do not know about, it could be popping in any second. But going back to what I was trying to originally say before we had 2 survivors just found with their pants down, Prada's pop usage has been a little curious, and we do see this gen popping. We've opted to, and Sprint Burst baiting out the swing as well, unable to get that tag. Darkstar will play towards 1, and Prada will have to leave because of it again with no tag. The situation, as I will inevitably get there before I'm interrupted by another thing happening in the game, is that Prada has wasted his pops a lot. He has hit the gen that wasn't the most progress. We saw him go to 2 and pop it instead of main when it was 75%, the other gen was 50, and then he did the inverse the other way around, and I was a little confused by that. But you know what, I think it didn't really matter. Only one of the generators ended up popping because we left main to aggressive so much, lost all its progress, and we didn't make it back in time for 3. So if we did get that pop off earlier, we probably were going to be able to stop that gen from popping in our face, but we did not. We do find Colt all the way on this edge 8 rock. We were not able to get a tag. We're going to have to leave this yet again. We're worried about these gens top. They are becoming more and more split. With that gen 1 out of the way, we have 3, we have 10, and we have main. They are very workable. The survivors can pre-leave in either direction, and it gives you so much to work with. Diehout once again is able to avoid the tags for rushes used, so he's going to take a lot of distance off of this, but we will be vaulting back into the killer with Life in hand, making our way towards bottom, and yet again, because of that, Prada has to leave. He cannot afford to give up these gens. We do catch out 2 survivors leaving these gens quite early. We're not going to be able to get the tag around this rock. Actually, never mind, we could have been, but he has been flared yet again. This is not a day for Prada to remember. Cold once again being able to flare him for a 3rd time. And we're playing around this window quite nice. Cold delaying this tag for as long as possible, yet it will be coming in soon, and unfortunately this tag will be taken towards bottom yet again for Prada, so he can't really convince himself to take this chase. But I don't think Cole had as much distance as he thought he was going to, so he's been stuck on this little box here, and he will go down. That is the eruption proc onto 10. We have the slug on the ground. We can even hook this. Never mind. 3 has popped. I guess they doubled that. I was not expecting that. I don't think Prada was either.
No, yeah, I you know what, I kind of saw it coming. It was too long that he played hit and run. I mean, he really needed to be chasing someone a lot earlier than what he did, and we are going to be taking this tag onto Fluorite, who's going to make all the way down into 1. Do still have that slug over at that top mid, and maybe we can go for the pickup. But this is our fresh hook. You know, it's the most stages that we can afford if we are camping this from first hook to death, if we manage to do so. It's going to be a tall order though. I mean, we do have an exit gate here, so maybe they're just going to opt to take the stages. I know I wouldn't really play for this. You don't really have any reason to, especially if you're pretty confident on Suffocation Pit 1. I mean, I was talking with Austin maybe yesterday, and he was saying, you know, you should be getting 4Ks on this map. You know, it is Suffocation Pit 1, and in all honesty, you can take that how you will. You know, maybe I do see along more of the stages kind of things with this kind of balancing. I mean, I think that's granted that you have a lot more perks allocated to the S tiers, but this balancing is extremely strict from what I had seen. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, if they're confident in the stages, that's the point I was trying to make. If they're confident in the stages, they can just leave now, but they're playing for best possible result, and this can actually prove to be pretty bad, you know, if we're going for the 1-for-1 trades and all that. But, I mean, probably just send someone to the gate straight up, send the 2 survivors in for the pull. Look at where the gate and the hook is positioned, though, in all this clutter. It's just not realistic. It's the deli. I'm stupid. I didn't see that he was deli. Hang on a second. Wait, are we able to get the tag in the block? We are on the side of Cold. Hold on. We got 2 more bodies. Are we able to make do with that? We do eat another tag. This is going to be following up with the rush, though. I don't think we really make anything. We're really trying for that threshold, and now we've opted to go for Cold rather because they are worth the same amount of points as Flu right here. This is what I was talking about. Was it really worth it to play for the deli? I don't know. It was a little too far away. We are going to be picking up Cold there. Oh my god, I do apologize. I did not see that that was deli. Completely forgot about deli. But we are going to go all the way back down to the top half of the map again. Fluorite still broken at the moment via the deli, and you do have Darkstar still in a full health state, and you do have Fluorite who is injured. But yeah, they're just going to take the stages here. They can't afford this. I mean, you're not going to wait, what, a whole 60 seconds for Fluorite to become eligible for a heal. So, I mean, you just, yeah, you take what it's worth. And in all honesty,
yeah, we've made it back. We have made it back. We have made it back. We are back yet again. More Blight on the menu once again. Yes, Chef, once more. More Blight. Hunter.
Mm.
Back with Blight.
More Blight. Blight,
More
Blight,
Blight.
and more Blight. More Blight. You want Blight?
More
I
Blight.
want Blight. Blight sounds good to me. I hope Blight sounds good to you. But yes, hopefully no issues this time, in all honesty. What do I want to see?
Blight.
Blight, yeah, I want to see. Okay, loading in, we do see the survivors spawn over at the 7 side, which means our killer is spawned all the way over at the 1 side. Probably going to be rushing all the way down bottom as we do see them just kind of stealth out and stealth behind rocks and behind favorable tiles. We do see the aggressive deli survivor playing the shack, and we know that it's the deli on the side of our killer here, Cold, who is Cold himself. As definitely a fit and a half. We will be now trying to look around these scratch marks here. Oh my god, the mechanics. I'm already loving what I'm seeing. The quick V1 tech into the middle section of the map here, the choke point, if you will. I really want to see how he upholds the choke, because this could be pretty dire for some of the some of these killers, unfortunately. Already, oh my god, wait, look at the pre-turn as well, the shoulder flicks, and our survivor, Duck Dewey, is playing actually pretty well for what it's worth. Now breaking all the way down to main here. I just really hope this isn't the deli player, as we do take the 50s and winning both of them accordingly as well on this long filler here. I don't think we're going to be able to get a flick here on the side of Cold. You really just have to zone break this pallet here, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to follow up the chase as well, or he could leave this. He has one more chance to leave, and he is leaving. Very well done. It is not our deli survivor as well. It is Overcome and Unbreakable in the back pocket. So we're going to go all the way down to the top side of the map, see if we can catch somebody off guard. This is going to be our Claudette player who's going to be slapping the pallet into Cold's face and running to the backside of main. We do have that nice little filler pallet there to be working with. That's going to be going down instantaneously as we do pre-drop it, and it does take, it is going to be broken, unfortunately. But we are going to opt to greed this one outside of main, and I do like that play. You know, not sacrificing any distance or wasting any resources, being very conservative inside of some Peng, who is now opting to choose to, make it just barely here. Cold is really cold with the mechanics, I can't lie, and we do have so many fillers. I mean, the update to fillers can be quite detrimental to the Blight every now and again over at the Suffocation Pit 1, but needless to say, we are following up, and this will be the down onto some Peng at a reasonable time. Somewhat similar to our last match there, but automatically I can see the difference in gameplay. A lot more confident on the mechanics on the side of Cold, but the survivors are also playing fairly well. Like, I can't discredit the survivors. I just hope, again, that's not deli on the hook. That's not what you need if you're really to be pulling a 6-stage win con on the side of our survivors. So as we take the kick onto this generator, if we could get a quick flick around to what the plan of action is on the side of our survivors. I do think that they're working one generator over the bottom side. This is our Overcome player who was first in chase. Our deli player is working another generator over at the bottom 8 section. We do see Kryzen stealthing for the pool. It's the decisive player stealthing for the pool. So we're baiting out the deli. We're trying to do a little bit of whoopty-whoopty mind games. And as we do see the DS player go for the unhook here, go down instantly as well, unfortunately. That is going to be 2 taking an Eruption proc, and this is going to be a quick tag onto the Endurance status effect for Sumpeng, who is going to be looping around the short rock here. Doesn't have a lot to go on, unfortunately, and you know this isn't the DS player, so once they're down and picked off the ground, we're in a world full of hurt on the side of our survivors, as we do still have to get Kryzen back up and running, as he is not our Unbreakable survivor either. We are going to be taking the break onto this pallet here outside of main, pre-dropping the short filler there. We do have access to the window, but we're electing not to use use it, and I do like this play on the side of Sunpeng. He is really lasting in this chase as he does need to, but he needs to break away from the main tile because he doesn't really have a lot to work with. He does need to be lasting. Unfortunately, just being caught out at the window. Going to be eating a tag there for the cost of 2 generators, but he is probably going to be slapped on the hook. No, we're going for the slug, and they're very ambitious aggravate. Well, this is a very aggressive gameplay. My God, Chief.
Yeah, oh, and that is the third down. I was going to point out, Hunter, it was really problematic because Cold was fully aware of the survivor's positions when both of those generators popped, and now we have Deli, the last man standing, rotating for this pickup. I think we've also just hooked our Unbreak survivor, so this is getting really ugly. We don't have Unbreak in the trial. We know that that pick has come in onto the slug, but we're not even going to worry about it. We're just going to take this hook. We know what our win con is. We don't even need to worry about getting a 4K at high gen, so we're just going to take the hooks whilst we can. That is 3 hooks onto the board. Our tunnel out and death hook now. You see this coming in the background. That will be Deli getting tagged for it as well if we can get another quick down. Preferably not onto the ace of the Deli player, but onto Kryzen or Dewey. Sorry, I apologize, but that will be instead after our Deli player on the ground. And you know what? Actually, never mind. We can just slug this. Look at the position we are in. We have our Wretched Fate Totem here. We have 3 gens with a hook right in the middle of them. We know 2 survivors are probably still on the top side of the map. I don't think they would have crossed, and yes, look at that. Duck Dewey has been caught out here. He does have this strong little filler section to work around, but the rushes will not be able to do much with. And Kryzen is all the way 6. I mean, Hunter, what do we do now?
Crawl, like, crawl away. Like, if you're on the floor, don't just stand there and recover. You're on the hook, you're pretty much dying something. I can't lie. That is mighty unfortunate. We're just able to sit into a position where we're able to camp the slugs and camp the hook. But again, I mean, even if they do potentially move away from just being stuck standing still, I mean, Kryzen can't really do much. He's injured. He doesn't have access to any dead hard. He doesn't have access to any medkit for a full heal. He's just kind of caught out at that choke point. We do have Unbreak here up and running on the side of Duck Dewey, who is going to be pre-dropping that pallet instantly and probably trying to break away to the middle section of the map, because if he's zoned back into the top section, he has absolutely no resources other than the one over at 10. He is just going to be vaulting into our killer here, unfortunately. Duck Dewey going to be going down. It is going to be our 3rd stage of the match, send it off, oh, sorry, 4th stage of the match sent off into the air. You know, still not at that win condition just yet, but my God, with how you can really pan this game out to be, it is definitely going to be met within the next couple of minutes. Yeah, it's just, unfortunately, I don't want to say the word shambles because that is quite of a, it's not really a nice word to be using in this instance here, because you are versing a Blight who's well versed in the mechanics of killer. He is going to be taking that quick down onto Kryzen. That was very, in all honesty, that stealth for Paul was just not it.
You can use the word shambles if you want again, Hunter.
Yeah,
I know that you're
I
really
need to use the word. I need to use that word because it is essentially. Why are we stealthing so close to the hook, injured, while we're just grunting like there's no tomorrow, and just going for a pull that's just really not realistic? I mean, a quick pull like that, it's, you know, why you're just insta down.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, look, any momentum they could have gotten back into the game, they saw the unbreaks, they saw the pick come up in the background, we saw Deli reset themselves, you know. If we didn't just get found out topside here, stealthing for this pull, we actually had a decent little bit of momentum. We could have maybe gotten another gen popped in the 3v1, we could have sent Deli to trade, you know, all of these things, all of these scenarios that allow this to happen. And now look, we're in the exact same scenario. Kryzen is having to crawl to after aim. He's gonna go for the pick, we're gonna know because the slug's right here, we're gonna now go for the trade as well, but guess what, you're not gonna get it in time, son. That's so body blockable, and he's gonna die on hook. This is the 2v1 coming in at 3 gens. We know that one of our survivors is injured. After Aim's still stuck here on the top side, full HP, but we do not even care. His only option now is to hop on one of these gens before Kryzen goes down. That is the vault with life, though, buying Kryzen a little bit more time in this chase, but Cold will very shortly have those rushes back, and with only LTs to play around, I'm not too sure this chase is going to last. Oh my God, we don't even need the rushes. We've just walked right into the hands of him, but we do have the rushes now. We will be able to get this down very shortly. That is down. Beautiful flick, and Kryzen on the ground yet again. After Ain left the last man standing for the 3rd time this trial. Game's all but done now, Hunter.
game's the game,
How are we
Chief.
feeling?
Game's the game. Game's the game. And After Rain just kind of stealthing around for that pickup onto our slug survivor, Kryzen here. 6 stages at the moment, so, you know, survivors at their win condition. Kryzen just on the floor at the moment. After Rain really trying to get that pick up. We were looking for him on the side of Cold, and we have found him now. Kryzen back up off the floor. We are going to be eating a tag on the side of our deli player here after rain, going to be vaulting the window back into the bottom side of the map and opting to play the other side of the L here. The double dash coming in, this is just a down. Yeah, you're way too quick after you allowed 2 dashes like that. I mean, just probably had to send the vault a little bit quicker if you were going to make that 50, but Kryzen opting to go all the way down to the bottom side of the map again and just going to be slow vaulting this window. Wow, we really want this 4K3. We're just, oh my god, this is... Oh, so aggressive. We are teabagging to initiate the 1v1. We are going for the bump fatigue here as well. So some good sportsmanship. We know that the win con is just well and truly met. Oh. Oppa indeed. Oppa! Crazy.
What is the killer?
So we vault into the loving embrace of the killer. Okay, we take this hook and then we go back to after rain on the floor all the way over at the top side, and that will be GG, winning on 3 generators and a few extra stages as well. 5 in total. Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, it's something you should expect on Suffocation Pit, is something that, you know, Austin had said yesterday. But yeah, I mean, crazy stuff. You could definitely tell the difference between the 2 killers. Maybe a little bit in the Survivor gameplay as well. You know, you saw last game that they were just able to really play that top side without any repercussions. I mean, yeah, they used a lot of resources, but they were able to keep up the pressure time and time again. Yeah, these survivors just struggle to get on top of things, unfortunately. But that's that with the Blight games. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't. And, you know,